Lisa. I'm back today with a super simple page because our topic is simplicity. Today's load prompt has to do with nighttime reading rituals, and I had this photo from a few years ago, so I'm not going all the way back to my childhood, but back to my early 30s, which I hate to admit is 20 years ago. And I read these two books a lot in the evenings. I read them other times, but especially the Simple Abundance book, it had an entry for each day, and so that was sort of my nightly thing that I would read and gain some inspiration for that. And I read Simplify Your Life over and over and over again, and took a lot of suggestions from these books. The simplicity movement that occurred around the mid-90s was just perfect for my life at that particular time, and I have written about that. So I've got a sketch here, a brand new sketch that is really heavy on the journaling, very simple, a single photo. This one is a 4x4 photo, so I'm not going to mat it or anything. I'm just going to use it as it is, and then I am going to map my title area. And so the only embellishment I have here is some kind of circular embellishment over on the left, and then a strip of, I plan washi tape if I have something that works, over on the right. And you can find this sketch, as always, over on my blog, and you can also find a link to the 2014 sketchbook with all 52 sketches if you're interested in that. Now, the photo is going to go down here, and so I've typed up my journaling. I went ahead and did a title for this. I have a real pretty background paper from Basic Gray. This was part of the Highline collection, and you know me, I'm going to cut the middle out because a lot of this is going to get covered up with the stuff in the center. For my title, I cut this design from the silhouette. I thought it would be, I could find something in their words, and I did. I just did a search on, I think I did a search on time or at first, and then I did one on Simplify. Anyway, I got this great title, Simply a Great Life, and I think that goes really well with the books. It leaves me a little space here, and that's what we're going to use to do some embellishment. I haven't quite decided on that. I have these couple of different embellishments to choose from. I need to get a paper to mat this, trim this down, and it's not going to take too long to pull our page together. This whole block in here is 8 inches by 8 inches. So when I trim out the center, I'll probably trim like a 7 by 7 or 7.5 by 7. So I make sure that I don't trim out too much, and can still have some of this pretty pink paper or the floral on the back to use on another project. So I measured up and over 2.5 inches all the way around, and then I'm just going to use my craft knife to trim this out. I often find these middles are really great on other layouts, especially these sort of small tone-on-tone patterns, and especially if I have paper left from the rest of the collection, and I do still have some of the Highline paper left. So kind of pulling together the other pieces, thinking of a light gray for that die cut, which was cut out of a color called Cinder from Basil. For my washi tape, I'm kind of looking at this raspberry color, and it looks better than I thought. I'm not sure about that, but I also had gray. I was kind of going towards using gray for my accents. I have a purpley color there that quickly discarded. And in looking at the different embellishments I pulled, I think I want to use the flare. Some I believe I picked up on clearance at Michael's, and it has the word right now on it, because a lot of the things in the book were about living in the present, and of course it kind of goes with the title, is Simply Great Life Right Now, but it kind of does dual purpose. And I ended up with the washi tape that had the purple on it because the right now has some purple in it. And then I looked at doing a darker background, it's sort of a blue purple. So I looked at a couple of different things for background, but I would have had to recut the title, and I just didn't really want to do that. So I'm going to end up using my colorful cardstock there for some embellishment. I'm just going to try to get the washi on here as straight as possible. That is not my best thing, but in this case I really did get it straight the first time. I'm just going to wrap the extra to the back. I'm going to need to cut that gray block down to 4x4, and the journaling is on a 4x8 piece. So I've cut my little embellishment there on the silhouette. I do feel like I need something in the middle though to try to pull all those other pieces together. I'm afraid there'll be a hole if I don't put some cardstock behind it. So I just went to my scrap cardstock drawer and pulled out something. Didn't really make that much difference what I used. I did have some trouble getting adhesive out of there. I have an order coming from Amazon today that has some Tombow adhesive in it. They actually have a very cheap price on their Tombow mono adhesive if you buy it along with other stuff. It's an add-on and it's like $2 and something. So I think it's the same one. They don't carry it at my local Hobby Lobby, so that's I have to drive way over to Michael's to get Tombow, so I very often order it. Or not very often, it lasts a long time. And then I couldn't get my tape runners. I've got a bunch of tape runner. I just need to clean that one. It wasn't coming off good. Michael's had a sale on adhesive in January. There that one ran out. But I've got plenty of adhesive. I just, for video purposes, I didn't mess with it anymore. But I did throw some extra glue behind that before I went to sew around the edge because I felt like it needed a little something more. Now when you're sewing high contrast, dark on light or light on dark, if you don't get it perfectly straight, it shows. And it's hard to sew perfectly straight. And so I ended up doing 2 rounds and kind of purposely doing the second round kind of wobbly, so it looked like I meant to do it that way. I meant to have it straight, but there was one place I got off and the whole thing didn't look good. So anyway, now it's finished and here is our sketch. Really fast page with 3 little blocks in our grid, and even the back doesn't look bad once I trim those threads off of there. So I hope you'll visit me on my blog to see more of my stories, and the journaling is on there. I also have the sketchbook, and if you like using cardstock like I do, I have a class called Creative Cardstock, and you can find out more information about that on the blog as well as today's sketch. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you will come back and visit me next time.